Okay, so as far as cybersecurity challenges go, cybersecurity is in fact a very challenging field. मतलब आपको हर तरफ हर तरह के प्रोसेस में कोई ना कोई चैलेंज जरूर फेस करने को मिलता है. If you talk about people, processes, and technology, so you have challenges in terms of people, finding the right kind of people. That is a very huge challenge right now in Pakistan, and that's something that we have faced. Being one of the leading employers in the region, even I would say in the country, finding the right kind of talent, that has been a very difficult task for now. Similarly, if we go to processes, getting people to understand that their processes, the ones that they're very used to, are to be revamped and changed in terms of the security risks that are going to affect them. ये अगेन एक और चैलेंज होता है कि लोगों को समझाना, भाई तुम्हारा प्रोसेस है, दिस नीड्स टू चेंज, और उसको चेंज इस तरह से करना है कि उसमें जो रिस्क इन्वॉल्व है उसको हम इम्प्रूव कर सकें, उसको हम cater for कर सकें. That's again a big challenge. And then if we move onwards to technology, so one of the biggest, I would say, the largest challenge that I've faced is in terms of technology. Having legacy technology, legacy hardware, legacy software, ये होना is something which kills all of your security posture. So having to deal with legacy infrastructure, I have had to deal with legacy infrastructure a lot. So that has usually been the toughest and the hardest to deal with. Okay, so this was basically a very challenging and high-stake problem. I'm talking particularly about the legacy software and legacy hardware issue. Because once you have legacy infrastructure, the best of the best controls that you implement, like आपने बहुत अच्छा एंटीवायरस परचेज कर लिया जो बहुत ही आउटक्लास है, बहुत ही अपनी डोमेन का बेस्ट है, with state of the art protection, but even that antivirus won't help you improve your security posture. क्यों नहीं करेगा? That's very simple, because you won't be able to apply that antivirus to that legacy infrastructure. And this goes for each and every security control that you set up, from EDR to XDR to next generation antivirus to everything that you can technically implement. That will be challenged. That you will not be able to implement any of those on systems that are older, that don't have support for them, that are outdated, that does not support newer patches. So legacy infrastructure, having legacy infrastructure in OS software, that is something which kills your security posture. Okay, so having legacy hardware and legacy systems is a challenge for the CISO, but it is also a challenge for the other stakeholders. I would specifically want to highlight that it's a big challenge for the CIO. Like, it's a challenge for the IT, keeping the systems up and running. You get downtime every time something goes wrong, and if it's a legacy system, you don't even get to patch that problem. So it will keep on occurring and occurring. So my game plan, or my plan in general, was to get the people who are affected by this problem, specifically this one, and get them to agree to helping me in solving this. So I onboarded a lot of people. I started with IT. I asked my colleague, the CIO, to help me out here, and I went to the head of risk. I asked her to help me out, and I asked my boss to help me out, because in our case it was a significant challenge. A lot of our legacy systems needed replacement. This being one of the biggest projects, I would say, after the conception of the organization. This was probably the biggest project that we had. Okay, so there were a lot of lessons learned from this. starting with let's keep updating our systems from time to time and not let them accumulate to such an extent where they are disastrous and very hard to replace. So updating systems, getting them ready for newer updates, that's something which I believe should be done very regularly. And that's a key lesson, or the biggest lesson I would say that we have learned from this exercise. Okay, so there has been a lot of impact in terms of improvements that have occurred because of this. Our security posture has strengthened. We are more resilient now. The concept of cyber resilience that is now implemented across the organization. We are resilient in terms of insider threat. So insider threat was one key focus area while implementing all these security controls, while the upgradation. So whatever we do is in coherence with the zero trust principles. So a lot of zero trust, a lot of insider threat management that went into planning and executing this. If we talk about the operational improvements, so a lot of downtimes have been minimized, like upgrading from a legacy system, let's say from a legacy hardware to a newer hardware, that allows you to give a better service to your customers. So a lot less downtimes now. And from a cultural perspective, I would say that things are moving along. People are getting used to the new technologies that they have available, and they're definitely becoming more productive. Okay, well, that depends on how back in time I could go. If I were able to go a long way back, I would just request our teams back then to patch things up as we go and not let it accumulate. Uh, Having to change your infrastructure, having to change your security solutions, having to change your softwares, that is in itself a very challenging task. Uh, I would have wanted this to occur on a slower pace, and I would have wanted this to have occurred step by step over a longer period of time. That's one thing that I would have wanted to change. But given the circumstances, we had to do it the way we did it. Okay, so again, this is something which has a lot of aspects to it. Cybersecurity challenges occur in a lot of ways. We still have challenges with the tools, with the technologies, with the software stacks that we have. It is something which is a very routine or a very routinely occurring thing to have challenges with the tools, technologies, with the people that you're working with. However, I would just highlight one aspect which I would want to have solved, and that's the HR part. So I would want to have skilled people available whenever one of my team member leaves. So having the right kind of skill set available in the market is one challenge that I don't think so I'll ever be able to, or anybody for that matter would ever be able to solve, unless there is a shift in dynamics overall throughout the country.